I just wanted to share with you the way that I've been washing my hair for the past 3 or 4 months now, which I think is amazing, and I tell everybody I know about it because it's so fantastic. It involves the use of a product called Dr.Bronners. They are a company that makes natural castile soaps, which is nice because that means basically it's vegetable based. It's not based out of meat fats, which I generally agree with. Also, they have a lot of organic ingredients. They come in a bunch of different scents. You can get them in liquid or solid. So this one obviously is in the liquid form. This is one of the bigger bottles you can get. Also, it is peppermint, which is my favorite personally, that I've tried anyways. Makes your skin nice and tingly when you wash with it. You can use it on your hair and your body as well, which is really cool. So it's sort of like an all-in-one thing. Basically, I'm going to tell you how I wash my hair with this product, and then I'll go into sort of the premise of it afterwards, I guess, and explain why you do, the things you do. When I'm washing my hair with Dr.Bronners, which is all I do now, basically, it's not super dissimilar to washing your hair with a traditional shampoo and conditioner, because what you do, for me, I use a 3-step system. For most people who don't have dry hair, you probably just need to do 2 steps, really. So, soap is the first step. The second step is this guy. It's not pop, it's apple cider vinegar. Actually, it's an apple cider vinegar dilution water. And the third step for me is, this is empty right now, but I fill this bottle with a dilution of lavender oil and water for the moisturizing properties. So when I'm washing my hair with Dr.Bronners, basically you're going to want to wet your hair down all the way, very wet. Then you take just a little bit of the soap. It's incredibly concentrated, so basically just what will fit in like the palm of your hand. Rub that in. I usually start at the top of my head and kind of go back with as much hair and the length of hair that I have. I find I have to do sort of 3 rounds of that. So I'll fill my palm, rub it in, fill my palm, rub it in from the back, and then fill my palm and do the length of my hair. Depending on how long or thick your hair is, you might not need to use so much, you might need to use more. Depends on how you are. For me though, that's what I do. Rub it in really, really well, especially with the peppermint, just because I find it, the longer I rub it in, the more tingly it is, and it feels really nice on your scalp. It's really, really refreshing. So yeah, really, really similar to doing shampoo. You just rub it in really well, then you're going to want to rinse it out with just plain water under the shower. Rinse it very well. Also be careful not to get any soap in your eyes. It's very bad to get in your eyes. Don't do it. It's awful. It feels terrible. So once you've washed out the soap, then you are going to move on to your apple cider vinegar dilution, which I will teach you how to make later on in the video. Take this. I just happen to use an empty pop bottle because it's convenient. I only use about a quarter of it maybe per wash, just because you don't need to use the whole bottle. All you need to do is saturate your hair with the dilution, your hair and your scalp. I rub it into my scalp as well. I let it sit if I have the time, preferably for 5 minutes. Really, I think the sweet spot is between like 3 and 7 minutes, anywhere in there, depending on how much soap you used and how well you rinsed it out and la-di-da-da on your hair type and so on. So once you've let the apple cider vinegar sit for a while, rinse it out really, really well, otherwise you will smell like vinegar. Rinse it out really well under the water. Most people who have like fairly normal hair that is like reasonably balanced and not too dry or not too oily or anything, or even actually probably people with oily hair, can end pretty much right there. And for the first time you try this, I would just do with the apple cider vinegar and just end there. However, for people like me who have very dry skin in general and therefore a dry scalp and dry hair, especially in the wintertime, I make for myself a lavender oil dilution with water. So this happens to be actually an old apple cider vinegar bottle. It's a 500 milliliter bottle. I like to fill it with warm water and then add, if I'm feeling particularly dry, 4 drops of lavender oil to 500 milliliters of water, but otherwise, when I'm feeling pretty normal and I'm not super dry, just 2 drops of essential oil. Very concentrated. To be careful with essential oils. They're great and they're wonderful, but if you apply them to your body and they're too concentrated, they can do terrible things and cause wicked skin irritation. So when I wash my hair, which I don't do every day, I just do it when I feel like it needs to wash, I make this right before I wash my hair just because I find if it's with warm water, it mixes a little bit better with the oils. So you're going to shake it really, really, really well. And then once it's being shaken like very thoroughly, pour it on your head the way that you would pour the apple cider vinegar, so just to saturate everything. Focusing more though with the dilution on the scalp. I also like to run it like along through my hair as well, just because I like the smell of lavender and it kind of makes your hair a little bit scented, which is kind of pleasing. So again, leave this in for 5 minutes if I have the time, and hopefully I usually do. And there you go. With this one, I don't rinse it out all the way, though, I should say. I do a really quick rinse, like I duck my head under the water for like half a second and like get into my roots, and then I'm done. Because really, again, I like the smell of lavender. There's no sense to me in washing it all the way out because it makes your hair smell nice, and that's really, for me anyways, the only downside of washing with Dr.Bronners is that you don't get that like nice shampoo smell. But I think it's definitely worth it considering the fact that you're not putting chemicals right onto your head. And if you think about it, the skin of your scalp is extremely absorbent. Do you really want to be putting a bunch of chemicals on there? They go right into your, you know, like, I don't understand it. Poor life choices. Anywho, so the science behind it, well, not the science, but the reasoning behind this is that shampoos and conditioners fundamentally are bad for you because they're detergents. No good. Also, most shampoos and conditioners have one of 3 things in them that are bad for you, which are parabens, sulfates, and I can't remember the last one, but it's also a chemical. Parabens are basically waxes. They coat your hair. That's why your hair looks so shiny after you use most commercial shampoos and conditioners. Not because your hair is actually healthy, but because it's coated in wax, which is obviously no good. It means that the hair follicle can't breathe, which means, oh, they shrivel up and die and fall out. And that's no fun, because I don't think many people like balding. Also, sulfates are actually in most, if not all, shampoos, unless you buy the, like, very expensive, like, organic, natural ones. And even then, some of them have the sulfates in them as well. Sulfates are very bad, also known to cause hair loss among a slew of other problems. Generally no good for you. So that's the reasoning as to why shampoos and conditioners are bad. I mean, I personally have tried even the natural and organic ones, and I find, if anything, they're actually less effective than commercial shampoos, probably because they have less chemicals in them. But still, they're still the same compound, they're still detergents, it's still not good for you, and you're paying a boatload for them. It's ridiculous. So I did a bunch of research. That's how I came across the Dr.Bronners method. I was having a lot of scalp and hair problems. La-di-da. Basically, using soap on your body is just, it's not, you know, it's more natural, I guess, and it's less harmful to you in general. So the thing, though, about using Dr.Bronners is that because it's a soap, it's extremely, extremely basic on the pH scale. And your hair and your scalp naturally have a slightly acidic pH. So when you're putting something that basic, not only does it mess up the pH of your hair and your scalp, but also it tends to leave kind of a residue, almost like a soap scum on your hair, which is not very fun, and it feels kind of gross. Hence the apple cider vinegar rinse. Apple cider vinegar actually, on its own, is very beneficial to your hair and your scalp, even if you are using commercial shampoos and conditioners. The rinse acts not only to balance the pH of your scalp, rebalance it, but also it strips away the soap scum that's left on your hair, and it also works to smooth the hair shaft and the follicle, which means that your hair is shiny and tangle-free and not because of wax. It just naturally does that, and it's amazing, actually. So with this, like I said, I just use an empty 2-liter pop bottle that I washed out after I was done with it. I use a about half a cup of apple cider vinegar to 2 liters of water. I make this beforehand and I just sit it right outside my shower, so it's just always there when I need it. The only thing about that is that it's cold because it's been sitting outside of your shower, so it'll wake you up in the morning. But it does incredible things to your hair, though. I mean, it's amazing. You're probably wondering also, though, without like a creamy, lotiony conditioner, how your hair is going to get its moisture. Basically, your hair should naturally produce its own oils and balance itself, right? Because that's how your body is supposed to work. So, technically it should moisturize itself. However, if you're like me and you are very dry, like I just have very dry skin the whole year round, especially in the winter, I find I just need a little bit of help for my scalp and for my hair. So, like I said, I do a lavender oil and a lavender essential oil dilution. 500 milliliters of water, 4 drops of lavender oil if I'm feeling really dry, 2 under normal circumstances, or 3 sometimes. The nice thing about that is that lavender oil actually has a huge number of benefits, generally for your body, and especially for your skin. It's been known to help with eczema and dry, flaky scalp, and all kinds of things. It makes a great toner as well, but that's a whole other thing. Anyways, lavender oil is amazing. If you are curious, I would just suggest you research it. I can't even begin to cover all the benefits. And it's also known, I should mention though, for helping to reduce and fix hair loss problems. So, generally a good thing to put on your scalp. And also it makes your hair smell nice. So, that's fun. There are a number of other essential oils you can make a dilution with, depending on what your personal needs are. If you have problems with dandruff, tea tree oil is incredible for dandruff. Also, patchouli has been known to do good things for dandruff as well. Also good for eczema. Patchouli is. And again, just probably I would start with 2 drops to 500 milliliters of whatever the essential oil of your choice is. Do some research beforehand. The internet is a fantastic resource, and you'll probably find out quite a lot of things. Generally, I mean, the three essential oils that I have tried and that I know a little bit about are tea tree oil, patchouli oil, and lavender in terms of your hair and your scalp. Lavender is my all-time favorite because in general it just really helps for your hair and your scalp, and your skin too. So yeah. Basically, this is an excellent way to wash your hair. I know it's a little weird. Disclaimer, it doesn't feel like washing your hair with shampoo and conditioner. It's not as silky. Shampoo and conditioner kind of make your hair silky even when it's wet. This Dr.Bronners soap especially will make your hair feel weird when you're showering. I'm not going to lie to you, it's very different. However, I think the end result is worth it. I've been doing this for 3 or 4 months now, and my hair already has half the problems that I had 3 months ago, just from washing my hair like this. And my boyfriend has recently started doing it as well, and his hair has never looked better. It's kind of incredible, actually. So if you want to try this, you can actually get little bottles of Dr.Bronners because, I mean, a big bottle like this will last forever. We've had this for, I think, a month and a half, and, I mean, this is with my boyfriend and I using it. Hardly any's gone. It's very concentrated, so definitely worth getting a little bottle to start with, just to try. I would suggest trying out the almond or the peppermint to start with. Both of those are fairly neutral, and most people like the smell of peppermint and makes you feel nice too. And almond is, again, pretty neutral. And apple cider vinegar is something you probably just have around your house anyways. So, yeah. I should mention, though, with the apple cider vinegar dilution, you'll probably have to fiddle around with the amount of apple cider vinegar, the ratio from water to vinegar, just to get what works for you. I started out with 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar to water, but I find for my hair the 1/2 a cup to 2 liters ratio just seems to work better. But yeah. Anyways, I hope this helps you. I know it's weird, and I know it's strange, but it's definitely worth a try, if nothing else. You will probably be amazed at what it will do to your hair, in a good way. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye. Kit, you turned on the camera. Did you know you could do that? Oh, nice butt. Yeah, let's show it off to everybody. Where are you going? You trying to climb in my cardigan again? You can't fit in my cardigan. This is a kite, he's a sleepy kite. He sleeps all day, that's what he does. Hey! Bye!